Welcome back to MacBreak Studio. Hey, Steve. We're rolling.
What?
We're rolling.
Is that you, Mark? Oh, all right. Oh, hey.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to MacBreak Studio.
Hey.
We're having a little fun here, so good episode coming up. So I'm going to let Steve take it away.
All right. So we're talking about the Oculus Go, which was released, I think, about a month ago by Facebook. And this headset to me is a game changer.
I agree,
right?
100%.
It's game changer.
My first experience was about 15 minutes ago.
Right. Now, prior to the Oculus Go, you had two modes of viewing VR content.
Yeah.
One is a very expensive, hardware-driven setup like the HTC Vive and the
Right.
Oculus Rift, which uses, a computer, cables, different other pieces of hardware to track where you are in space, lasers,
right.
and whatever. Then there is always this, where you put your phone inside.
Or a Google Cardboard.
Google Cardboard, the idea is you put your phone in here,
Yeah.
and this is the worst. In fact,
I mean, with this or cardboard is a great introduction to the idea of VR, but the difference between the cardboard experience and this, partly because of the content and partly because of the audio, is just there's no, and the resolution. I mean, this blows my mind. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, in fact, I have to say, it's a game changer because the resolution is great. In fact, it's actually better than the Vive. The specs here says this is 2560 by 1440, and the Vive resolution is, let's see, it's a 2160 by 1200. So this is better.
So it's basically like an improved version of the HTC Vive without all the cables.
Without all the cables. So this is Facebook's answer to the Samsung Gear VR or Google's Daydream, where those devices use, high-end phones.
Right.
There is no phone. This is a device. So it actually has a hard drive in it. It has an operating system. It's a standalone unit.
And it's Wi-Fi connected.
It's Wi-Fi. You're connected to the internet. It's really a great experience. And so you just strap this on, and I'll bring up a little video I made of the interface.
And it's between $200 and $250?
It's $200 on Amazon if you buy the 32 gigabyte version, and $250 for the 64 gigabyte version. And honestly, I've already almost filled this up. I wish I would have spent $50 more to get.
Always.
And the reason is, for the best experience, you want to download content. There's a streaming option. Most of the games, most of the apps, you can stream, but unless you have a really good internet connection, it's going to be a bad experience. Or maybe you're traveling on an airplane, you're going to want to preload a lot of that content on here. Okay. In fact, let me show you what the interface. I can't actually have you guys put this on and look around. Okay, but I can have you look at a quick recording of what I've done.
So you actually recorded your experience of using it.
Yes, as a matter of fact. So this is a window that I recorded, and you'll notice that there is a record. You have this little HUD that comes up, and there's a record video button there.
Okay.
If you go ahead and you're using a controller. By the way, I'm using this controller that comes with it that you point at. You can see the pointer.
The little laser at the bottom right corner looks like a little white.
Right, and I'm looking around the world right now. I'm looking at the content. I'm using my thumb to swipe to look at different things. I'm navigating with this little HUD here, and then I'm clicking this gallery button. The gallery is really interesting because it brings you to your own personal content. The other stuff is like Oculus related or Netflix or what have you, but you can set up your Facebook so that it'll appear inside the Oculus Go. You can connect different forms of media and then click the Instagram. In this case, I've connected my Instagram account.
And we're seeing your field of view right now. Right, obviously, you can look anywhere.
Right, you're seeing my field of view in this little square, but you're looking everywhere. You can see all the way around. And so now I'm looking at my photos in my Instagram feed here. And you can look at not only photos, but you can look at videos too. Almost right there. So here's a video I took in Hawaii. And what's really great about this is the Oculus puts you in a virtual theater space. So I'm in a room. And by the way, you can swap out these spaces to an actual theater. Rooms. There's one called the moon, the surface of the moon. They put you on the surface of the moon. It's really funny. But you're in a world. You're in a different space.
Yeah, you really are. You really are.
So notice there's this option called internal storage. Now that's all your personal stuff that you've side-loaded onto the Oculus Go, and I'll talk about the process in a moment.
Okay.
But I want to show you what you're seeing when you select this option inside the headset. So comes up, takes a moment to load, but now you're using your controller and you're going, little guy, and you're going through and you're looking at all your photos and all your videos.
Whether they're 360 or regular, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Shows you everything that you've put in there.
That's right. Like right here, I shot a photo.
A 360 photo.
360 photo of the Venetian in Las Vegas. So this is my point of view as I'm looking around the space.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's fantastic.
It looks great. The resolution looks really
great. It's fantastic. In fact, go a little bit further so you don't have to watch me scrolling, but I'll go over here. And I recently did a trip to Disneyland, and I brought my 360 Fusion. Now, I got to tell you, I love that camera so much. It's just such a fun camera, especially on fun family vacation videos like this. So
waterproof.
To 16. To 16 feet. So I don't have to worry about it. I took it on here. I took it on the Grizzly Bear Rapids, and you can see it's. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I didn't worry about it getting wet at all.
That's a perfect environment. So I just watched this in 360, and because you're in the middle of this group of people, you can look around and see somebody in every direction.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Yeah, and then you have a means of playing, and pausing and moving the video to different places. But that's essentially the quick tour of what you're seeing inside the Oculus.
When you're using it, as close as you can get without. It's something that you can't. I mean, I've known about it for a little while, but you can't really know it without doing it. You've got to do it.
Well, it's really funny. Most people, they really kind of poo-poo the other VR stupid or whatever. Like, they're looking at it like on Facebook or Vimeo, and it's just not the same as looking through it as a headset. I've taken this with me, and I just have my friends, my family here put this on. A lot of people haven't actually experienced something in VR, and you could just literally see them going, "Oh my gosh!" You're like, "This is incredible."
Yeah, you showed me the Jurassic movie in there where you see the dinosaurs and the T-Rex and everything. That was just outstanding.
And when you can see where Facebook is going with this, they want to create a community aspect. They have something called Oculus Rooms, where you create an avatar and then you join. You go into spaces with other Oculus users, so you're in there with other guys, other gals, with their little avatars, and you're playing games and watching movies. I mean, that's the whole point of Facebook buying Oculus to begin with. Yeah. They see an aspect where you're now in a virtual world with virtual people. I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's where they're going.
I'm not sure, but it's happening.
It's happening, exactly.
So you're going to
Ready Player One.
Yes. So you're going to show us a little bit about how the process works when you have one of these. You want to put your own content on it?
Okay, I have my own process for getting content. The short answer is I offload the footage, I stitch it together, I bring it into Final Cut, I edit it, and then I spit it out in ProRes. I end up with a high quality ProRes equirectangular movie.
In a very large file size.
Very file size. Yeah, they're huge. I mean, this camera shoots 5.2K, so you can imagine like I think a 6-minute thing of that Rapids, that Disneyland thing. That whole Rapids experience was 6 minutes. It was, I want to say, almost 100 gigs.
Wow.
So it was big.
It's 20. That's huge. Yeah.
It was big. Yeah. And so maybe I'm misquoting the size, but I remember it was huge.
Could
anyway, point being, I took it and then I brought it into compressor, or you can also use Adobe Media Encoder. Yeah. And then you export not as H.264, but as H.265.
Because HEVC or H.265 is significant, 40% of the size of H.264.
Yeah.
Like size is everything on this.
Oh, it is. Like here's that same, here's the 4K version of it. This is an H.264, right? The equirectangular.
Yeah.
That is like 385 megabytes. Yeah. That's H.264. This is the HEVC version, same exact clip, and it is 124 megabytes.
It's even less than 40%. That's incredible. So it's critical both from the standpoint of how much space you have on here, but also just the amount of rendering everything you're doing. You're thinking about space once again. Right,
you're thinking about space, and you can get so much more on your Oculus Go if you just use HEVC, and it works great. I'm not going to go through the process of how I actually encoded the settings I use in Adobe Media Encoder, but if you're interested in that, maybe we could do another episode. In the comments, tell us that you want us to cover that, and we'll do that.
And my understanding is because currently compressor is limited to 4K as a maximum. So if you want to export something more than 4K, you're looking at Adobe Media Encoder.
Yeah, that's primarily why I use Adobe Media Encoder, because I can export an HEVC movie that's larger than 4K, where compressor limits you to 4K, at least right now. I'm hoping that will change in the near future.
Yeah.
Now, how do I get the files from either the ones you've exported and encoded? How do you get that to here? It's called side loading.
Okay.
Okay, so, and I think, and I have no idea where that term came from, but I think it has to do with the fact that, you can plug in from the side, exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in, and I'm plugging
in.
in.
If the port were on the top, it would have been top loading.
Top loading, exactly. Right. So I have this plugged in right here.
Yeah.
I have my USB. And you'll notice here on the screen it says can't access storage device. Well, I have to give it permission. So,
well,
by the way,
it's just funny to see a little Android symbol.
Oh,
on your
Android
screen.
I guess I should point that out. Okay, this is an Android operating system, as far as I'm aware. And in order to access the file system, I have to download this little app. It's called the Android File Transfer app. Okay. It's the same app you need if, let's say, you want to get into a Galaxy phone and pull stuff out of it and put stuff on it. Right. It's really that kind of thing.
In order to start using this, what do you have to do? You have to put this on?
Yes, because you have to put it on and give it permission to access the file system. So I'm going to go ahead and
goodbye.
Bye. See you later. So I got to unlock that, and then it says allow, and you just point the pointer at it, click allow, and take this off. Click OK here, and the app should relaunch, which it does. And you'll notice here, you can now see the file structure.
So that's the file structure inside the Oculus Go.
That's right. Okay. So you have all your movies. So these are all the movies that I've side-loaded. And I literally just did that. I opened up, found a movie, and once it was encoded,
and you just drag it in there?
I just drug it right out of here.
And these are just standard rectangular encoded movies.
I'm not going to do it because I don't need to, but you just drag it. Movie, and by the way, same thing with photos or pictures. All your pictures,
360 or otherwise, right?
360 or otherwise, you just drag them in there, and then once you quit and then put this on, all of that content will show up in that one section where the internal storage.
So one question I have is, often when you upload video to social media sites, wherever, you have to make sure you've injected the correct metadata in order for them to be recognized as 360, so you can drag around. Did you have to do anything special here?
No, I'll just make sure that you're exporting out, in Adobe Media Encoder, there's a checkbox for equitangular. Yeah, I think it's called mono. Both compressor and Adobe Media Encoder, make sure the flag as it says rectangular.
And that puts the metadata in there, and this recognizes it.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And it works great.
Cool. Yeah. Well, this episode just cost me $250. This thing is amazing, and I had an HTC Vive because I like it's interactive with Final Cut Pro. I think that's really important, but I wasn't using it for anything else, except for editing. And I felt like for the cost, I'm going to get by without that. But I want to be able to share content. I want to play with this and show other people stuff.
You and I can now be in a room together, just
just show friends. I want to be able to make like seeing your Christmas family thing. You feel it's a very odd experience actually to be some of these videos where you're sitting in somebody's living room. I was watching Steve's family Christmas, and it's like you're there in the middle of it, but nobody knows you are. It's a very odd feeling, and it's a very disembodied feeling, but it's also fascinating, and it really is, for better or for worse, it's a glimpse of the future. Yeah. So
my next thing, though, is I want to mount the GoPro on a DJI drone. That's the next thing, because I've seen some great stuff when you literally feel like you're flying.
And you can paint the drone out so that you don't see it, and you look in every direction.
Yeah, we should do an episode on that, how to paint the drone out of the top.
Yeah,
so it'll be good.
That's coming. All right. Awesome. Is that it?
Is it?
All right. Cool. I hope you found this as interesting and perhaps as expensive as I did. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time on MacBreak Studio.